Big news coming in. Congress MP Manicka Tagore questions Hardeep Puri on why government ignored demands made by officials for Calicut Airport. He said the government ignored requests for crash barrier at Kozhikode Airport. Congress MP hitting out at Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri on why the government ignored several demands made by officials for Calicut Airport. Remember, there were several warning signals that were ignored is what experts suggest. A letter also was given out claiming that this is quite a volatile runway, a tabletop runway, considering heavy rains in Kerala most often. Here we're looking at some warnings that were already flagged off with the DGCA. It wasn't picked up in time. Nagarjun joining us for more details on this. Nagarjun, what more do we know with this regard? Of course, the opposition there, Congress MP Manicka Tagore, chancing upon the opportunity to slam the Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri there, asking why the government ignored requests for crash barrier at Kozhikode Airport.
In fact, Nabila, the reports are from 2018 that Calicut officials did demand something called EMAS. It's called Engineered Material Arresting System. So on a tabletop runway, most likely it's used. What happened yesterday was the airplane got out of the runway and overshot the runway and got down the cliff. If this EMAS was installed, the aircraft would have skidded off the runway and got stuck at the end of the runway. So it's an arresting system where the tires gets locked with tough material. It's mostly introduced in tabletop airports, and in 2018 there were demands, but the government and DGC and other authorities did ignore is what Manicka Tagore is saying, and is questioning Mr. Puri, who's the Minister of Civil Aviation, as to why did you ignore it. In fact, putting the onus on the government to take responsibility of what happened 2 days back at Calicut Airport. Manicka Tagore is also a part of the Civil Aviation Committee for the Parliament. So in the last 6 years, he is going to definitely take it up in the meeting and corner the government as to why were the demands ignored and will they do anything about the previous demands, and will they start an inquiry. That will have to be seen in the next few days. But definitely Congress seems like has a valid point as to these are the recommended things in tabletop airports across the world, but why was it ignored in Calicut?
Absolutely, Nagarjun. Several questions that have been raised, several answers that the DGCA has to provide. In fact, a lot of talk about how there was manual navigation that was prompted while the flight was landing. ATC's help wasn't used. All those questions also that needs to be answered yet.